All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide. Tonight, we are going to be doing a three-person Super Ball relay as a submission for the Gamers Against Cancer event that is happening, I believe, in March. I'm here in the booth with Duya. How are you doing tonight?
I am doing great. I kind of have to add in here that this is an honor to be able to do this. Being a cancer survivor myself, I'm really happy for this whole event. So I'm looking forward to a great race. I'm looking forward to a fun race, and it's going to be a pleasure doing it with you, Turdsman.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're here too. So the main thing with this particular relay flag set is it's trying to kind of make things go a little bit quicker. So as you can see on the screen now, the main unlock final Kefka requirements are 5 characters and 6 Espers, substantially less than your standard Ultros leagues, which we just finished that season 7. So I think everybody's probably going to be fresh in their minds that this is going to be a hour to an hour and 20 minutes, hour and 40 minutes or so, but usually not with this particular set.
Absolutely. Not only is the requirements for the unlock a little lower, but they are automatically going to get skip as well. So once it's open, they are good to go for those statues and get to miss the climb up.
That's right. And in addition to that, there's going to be a lot of power floating around. The shops are much more randomized than before. The only things that they won't be able to find in them are super balls, elemental shields, and elemental rods. That means Illuminas are somewhere in the world in some shop, I'm sure. Let's guess Miranda. And experience eggs could be in a relic shop somewhere as well. So that's a lot of ways to make your characters quite a bit stronger quickly.
Since you said Miranda for the Illuminas, I'm going to say
Mhm.
experience eggs in World of Ruin, Nicaea.
Oh yeah, yeah. Never ever go there.
All right. But on top of that, there is also no free progression. So checks like Gao's dad's house for Shadow and the Collingen check for Setzer is not going to provide progression. And it looks like we're off.
All right, so yeah, first we get to see all the little goodies everybody gets. So the blitzes, lore, dances, rages, all those sorts of things are just full. Don't have to worry about going and finding anything weird. You have all that stuff right out of the gate, and it looks like Lock Terra Umaro, and what was that sketch and something else? I missed it.
I did not see. I was actually looking down at chat with numbers saying always go to Nicaea, and Fiery Blizzard pointing out that everything is 100% equipable. So those Minervas going on
Yes.
everybody.
Yes, so if you find something really good in the shop, you might as well buy a stack of them. So it looks like Jexfrock is going to Narsh first. Going to grab some items in that shed there. Meanwhile, Hefe went to Nicaea. Uh, must be must be having the same opinion that you want to go to as many of these shops as possible. Also going to Mobliz. This is interesting.
Exactly. Not the shops that you're generally going to hit first in a regular UL seed, but
But that,
look at that.
and that's why you do it. Finding Illuminas for a pretty penny, I guess, for this particular seed. Everything is substantially lower priced than before, which has an interesting knockdown effect of selling things isn't really going to get you a lot of money either. So taking a couple grind fights early on, if you happen to come across one of those, can be a good way of boosting up a bunch of power um, before you get to these shops. But didn't matter for Hefe. He has Minervas and Illuminas for everybody.
I mean, this is why this flag set is going to go very fast. So even though it's going to be a relay of 3 races, it's definitely going to be a show.
So interestingly, Jexfrock just found experience eggs in the relic shop of Narsh. So we'll see if him finding that early gets him any extra boost versus Hefe finding Illuminas in a shop that a bunch of people might not necessarily check.
Yeah. Wow. So we were both wrong on where you're going to find these items.
Yes,
They right off the bat.
right there.
Oh yeah. Now, we had said that elemental rods and shields aren't going to be in shops, but as you saw, you can find them in chests. So they are there, along with super balls. So there's no limit to the power that's going to be in these seeds.
Yeah, you can find those things. You just won't be able to, do, for example, what Hefe did, where he saw Illuminas and said, like, well, okay, I don't care if I find a tools user. I want 5 Illuminas. Can't do that with super balls and rods, unfortunately, but plenty of options there if you need to, because Illuminas are great, but they won't necessarily get you through a fight with Magimaster, unfortunately.
No. Now, what's going to be interesting, though, is if we find a throw user with cheap Illuminas.
Oh, yeah.
How fun would that be?
So Hefe just immediately going into the Leet River here after finding those Illuminas, did basically no other shopping or looting or anything, just went right in, and it's working out so far. I guess the Minervas are going to be pulling a lot of the work here too.
Yeah, though they don't stop that petrify, though.
Oh, that's true. So yeah, finding items in this is also a bit different, since they're going to be about as expensive as the experience eggs or Illuminas that you find. Buying a pack of softs or echo screens or something like that might not be as common. However, that does mean that elixirs are probably going to be the same price as sleeping bags, so you just might as well buy those instead.
Exactly. Fiery Blizzard pointing out that Mega's hats being the most expensive things in the shop is quite hilarious, actually.
It's a good item, I guess, but that's usually not how it's balanced. I think Jax also found Atma weapons in a shop while we were talking too, so could be an actually distinctly different path that both runners take, despite each using the fight command.
Exactly. So now I'm sure that Jax is probably hoping for an offering in a relic shot with those weapons.
Yep, and might not be as interested in Genji gloves as Hefe will be with a lot of Illumina options.
Exactly.
I didn't see if either runner went after the Cursed Shield. That is also a little bit more pleasant in this one. Oh, and Snow Mufflers, so a different form of defense as well. That's all right. This is kind of cool. They're doing like the same strategy, but with different tools.
Yeah, this is actually really, like I said, this is going to be so fun to watch, I think.
Yeah. Oh shoot, I completely lost my place earlier. Well, maybe we'll come back later. Hero rings, hey.
Oh, nice. So you had said something about the Curse Shield, and there we go.
Yes, sorry, excuse me. Curse Shield is a little bit better in this one. It has 1 to 9 battles to uncurse it, and considering how your main source of money is probably going to be from some, taking a couple fights early on, getting that Curse Shield might be pretty decent, depending on what your loadout is going to be looking like. But if Hefe can get through, get some Genji gloves from somewhere, then that's probably not going to be as useful for him. Unfortunately, Illuminas might not be great here.
Yeah, that is a goddess. Oh, and that's a love token Yeti.
So it does have slot to make up the difference. I guess that's what I missed on Terra there. Oh my.
Oh, this is not going great.
Okay.
Oh, look at that slot skill.
That's incredible. I almost never get to see this guy.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, we're joined here in the booth also by Sigil. Welcome on in. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How you doing? And
we are doing pretty well. Seed just started not too long ago, so you haven't missed much. They've already got loads of power, though.
Nice.
Yeah, Hefe unfortunately running into a little bit of trouble here. Finding Illuminas as his offense ran into one of, I think, 2 or 3 bosses that don't quite work with that, but managed to squeeze his way through with slot, and Terra is going to get a big pile of experience points here.
Yeah. Poor Locke. Poor Yeti.
And it looks like Jex is right behind him on the Leet River, so we'll see how his fight goes. Because he's also using the physical attacks, so there's a decent chance that Love Token will mess him up just as bad as it did Hefe.
Exactly. Now, if he hasn't bought any softs, his Terra is petrified, so no slots there.
It looks like Hefe is heading into Narsh, noticing that there's a couple of extra tips available with some of these NPCs that you might run into. The Curse Shield guy also will mention that Gogo and Umaro cannot successfully uncurse the shield. Noticed that earlier today.
Yes. Now, with the Curse Shield and the Paladin Shield, it's basically going to be there for defense. Ultima has been taken out of these flag sets, so no Ultima.
That's true. It would be a very efficient bit of defense, but I can kind of understand not really caring about it if you found Minerva's in a shop. All right, it looks like Hefe's heading up to go fight possibly the Welk check. See if he goes and takes the rest of Narsh with him after that. Might be nice to wait for Mog if you want to go up and get that item, but maybe not, since that would be a no free progression is turned on. Celeste here, though, that's a great find.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
So, with these characters that we've got, Turdsman, where would you be going, with Celis included now? Where are you going next?
I might go... I want to say I would go right into Magitech facility, but with, Magitech's already unlocked, that's not really an issue here. The fights at the end of it might be a bit of a drag, but multiple checks, the Magitech facility, for example, you get 3 when you go all the way through it. It's a bit of a longer walk, but depending on whether or not you can take those fights, it can be a little bit quicker, especially when you're in a situation like Hefe is, where he's basically got all of his builds down pat. Might not worry too much about grabbing the South Figaro basement either. So what do you think about that?
Well, definitely not South Figaro basement, because that's considered a free check, and they're already loaded up with the items that they could need. I would almost... I think Magitech. If not Magitech, then maybe Opera House, just to get a little bit more of those grind fights, and just to see what you get from it.
Yeah, that probably would be a good use of your time, too. Finding a bunch of extra money might let you just sort of, I don't know if they found Genji gloves quite yet, but that would be a huge piece of Hefe's kit.
That's the thing. Now we're actually looking for more checks with grind fights just to get that money, just to get those extra items, since they're there and cheap.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, and Hefe also checking a couple of other different places here, finding some red jackets, not really better than the Minervas, but World of Balance Jador, also pretty underloved. Not a whole lot of people come here.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh-oh. So, we did forget to mention, Y remove is on, but it's the X Zone version. So that means that you can press a button, the Y button on a NPC, and they will disappear, they will go away, they will stop being a problem for you. Unfortunately, it's going to take a minute. I think, not exactly a minute, but it's a bit of a time sink, so you don't necessarily know whether or not it's going to be worth it to get this wandering NPC out of your way.
We have a question about what does Sketching Goddess do? I'll be honest, I've never actually sketched Goddess, because I'm always afraid she's just going to bolt herself and heal herself. Do you know?
Oh, yeah, I do not know exactly, but that's sort of what I would have expected also. Okay, Hefe showing off the Y remove with, I think it's called YX zone in the flag set. It can be, in that particular case, it was worth it to get that door out of the way. It's considered an NPC, so you can Y remove it out of your way there.
Yeah, definitely skipping, going and talking to the other NPC, flipping a door switch, you can just get instant access.
I think the goddess sketch is either attack or just a plain hit.
Oh, interesting.
I feel like next time I play, I'm going to have to try this now.
I know, right?
Yeah, same here.
I think I've undervalued sketch in general until I really started playing this one seriously. It can be a really useful ability early game. I think the circumstances of this flag set kind of changed that around a little bit, but not quite the useless ability that it was in the vanilla game.
Exactly, and that has got us down for Jex. Good job.
Yeah, had some pretty similar problems. Kept trying to keep Umaro up, which I respect. You got to get that damage out, and everybody has the 100% equip on. So Umaro is, in my opinion, a very good character when he can use an Atma weapon or a Valiant knife. And in this particular flag set, he is guaranteed to be able to do both.
It's always nice whenever you can give Yeti the best stuff.
I love giving him a force shield and making him functionally invincible. All right, Hefe did end up going to the Opera House. Good call from my co-commentator there. Let's see what sort of boss he has to contend with.
I was gonna say, wait to say it's a good call until we see the reward for it.
Oh, that's true too. We got the. I think we've all decided that the actual name is probably Super Behemoth, but that's no fun.
Senior Behemoth.
Sriracha Behemoth here now at the second half of this fight. An interesting fight. I believe undead in the original, but with the undead flag set to off, you could use an instant death move on a lot of those bosses because they didn't bother coding them both with instant death immunity and as an undead, since one would inherently counteract the other. But none of that matters because we're swinging a Luminous.
Exactly. The only thing that could have mattered is one of those Luminous procced, because Pearl and Flare make him very angry.
Oh, that's true. And got a Magicite Crusader out of it. Not a great summon, but we'll see what spells they got. Every Esper is guaranteed to have a stat bonus on it, and teach 5 spells at random intervals. So if they find a good spell on something, you could get a life 3 at times 15. You could get Merton at a pretty high rate. Can be worth it. We'll see if any of these two, I guess any of our runners at all tonight, see how much they end up relying on magic.
Well, I did see economizers in shops. We have found those, so it is an option. But man, those big sticks, those are so much faster.
That's the thing, is if you can get away with having a party that's using mostly physical attacks, there's things you want to do to kind of get around any unforeseen circumstances. Offerings can help with really evasive enemies. Damage ignoring weapons can help with the ones that have really high defense. But in general, if you have a character that can swing a sword real good, that's what you want them doing.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I've actually noticed, Herdsman, that they seem to be leveling a lot faster than what we would maybe see in a normal UL. Is that correct?
Yes. Let me check what the rate is exactly.
If I remember right, I think it's 447. So 4 times the XP, 4 times the MP, and 7 times the gold.
You are correct. It is 447. And the scaling is still characters, espers, and dragons at a factor of 2. So for Hefe, for example, he's got 4 characters, 3 espers. 7 times 2 is 14. And then I think they fiddle with those numbers a bit to make sure that you can't guarantee a level 5 death on somebody, things like that. With a max scaling level of 40. So Hefe's already close to... He's only 10 levels away from being as strong as any of the enemies are capable of being.
Exactly. And final Kefka is scaled.
Yes. So getting that extra Esper at the end might not necessarily be a good use of your time. Finding, 5 and 7, for example. It's not a huge bump, but it might mean that a particular part of the final boss has more than 9,999 HP as opposed to less.
Mhm. So here we are, we're getting a Magitech play by Hefe. And I think that was a Esper for Jax at Tunnel Armor spot.
Yes, it was.
All right.
I believe it was Unicorn.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed it had a 1 MP cost, which that's another thing. A lot of the spells and Espers have much lower MP costs than normal. So you apparently can run into one that just has a MP. You can give everybody a remedy for
Yeah.
darn near free.
Remember
always
what I
be
said
hot.
about economizers? Those are useless now.
All right, first boss in the Magitech facility is the Flame Eater. Not going to last too terribly long. This Pearl proc, unfortunately, is just going to waste time.
Yeah, Flame Eater, unfortunately, unless it's ice or water, it does not care what element you're casting on it.
We have a question in chat. They're asking if we can multi-summon.
Oh, yes, multi-summon is on in this one. So finding stuff like Unicorn, popping a ribbon on that character might not be a terrible idea, but depending on, what you have in your pocket, you might want to just have that extra damage, have the two-sword thing.
I don't
Next
know.
boss,
I
right
kind of
behind
like I like the unicorn idea, just because why buy items at that point if it's multi-summon and you can throw a ribbon
Yeah.
on something?
We did see Petrify kind of slow our runners down in their early Elite River gambit.
Mm-hmm. All right. Oops, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to wonder out loud how many chests Hefe has actually opened. I'm going to see if I can't go check.
That's a good question. I was actually going to ask you, what are you wanting to see at the end of this Magitech?
I think the 5th character is what you want to see at the end of this. Getting that last Esper might not be as tough. It's a lot easier to know you're going to get an Esper than know you're going to get a character. So, they could try Tritalk after this. Depending on what character shows up, there might be some checks that they can do where they know they're not going to get a character out of it, that sort of thing.
Yep. My vote, I want to see a Cyan.
Oh, yeah. Yep. You can check the Doma Siege if you feel like it, and if not, going into that... Ooh, can you get out of the dream? I don't know if you can warp out of that.
No,
You
I believe you
cannot.
can't.
Okay, so that would be interesting if it's not at the Doma Siege then. Taking a look right now, Hefe has picked up 5 chests. That is all he needs.
I think I would feel like I was missing something if I only opened 5 chests.
It's unbelievable.
I know.
But it's the right call. He's got everything he needs at this point.
Oh, absolutely. But the loot goblin in me.
Oh,
wants
yeah.
the chest.
I would probably accidentally pick up at least 3 more before getting to the end.
I personally probably would open everyone still.
You never know.
That is true. You never know.
The rare double-bladed Illumina was in that one chest that you didn't open up.
All right, so we should be coming up on the boss in the minecart. Yep. Oh,
Ooh, uh-oh. Time to do some math.
let's see that math check. Whew.
Yeah. I guess a slight benefit from having your characters all at different levels as well means that Doomgaze is much less likely to just ruin your night when he shows up.
Yeah, I was gonna say earlier that with the amount of power that we have, there's really not any boss that the runners would fear. This is the only one, right there.
Yeah. Got a big pile of experience points as a reward.
So, here's a question for you. With everything that we got going, and the faster flags, and the super, XP boost, and the equipment boost, what's your take on dragons?
It's an interesting prospect. They're not quite as... I mean, they're certainly not necessary even in a regular Ultros League seed, but I feel like there's enough experience points getting thrown around that it might be nice to grab one if you happen to go up, World of Ruin Narsh or something like that. But other than that, I'm not sure it would really be worth the time.
Yeah, especially because, there's really no item out there that you're going to be looking for.
Yeah, definitely not. If you got lucky with a couple of these shops, then you're not going to have to worry about any of that ever again.
Exactly.
It's like maybe a decent piece of armor if that's something that you haven't really been picking up. So I don't think there's a whole lot of good helmets or shields that have been running around. I think there was an Aegis shield that popped up at some point, but the Minerva is going to do a lot of work. Might not quite do as much as you need, though.
Right. So we have Edgar on Hefe's part, 5th character found. Not the favorite one that I would want to see, actually.
Yeah, the Figaro Throne, unfortunately, would not be an Esper.
I believe Hefe has unlocked now.
Oh, he did manage to get enough money to buy the Esper for the Zen Thief. Okay, fantastic.
Awesome. Oh, this is going to be so fast.
Yeah, that's unlock so that would have been unlock at like 23 minutes. Buying some black belts, that's fun.
Unlock and skip, so let's just go.
Yeah. Jexrock coming up close behind him is at a slight Esper deficit. Did not take a check that Hefe took at some point, but he is going to come out of this with 5 characters and 4 Espers. Let's see if he can't grab something really quick out of here besides the Zen Thief.
I think it was Opera House. I don't think he did Opera House.
You might be right. Okay, Hefe, I guess, having the same thought as me, found Aegis Shields in, it looks like Albrook, in the World of Balance, bought one for everybody. Probably a good call. You don't want to accidentally get slugged by something for a couple thousand damage at the end of the game.
Okay, so between everybody having Illuminas, everybody having Minervas, and now everybody having Aegis Shields, he's invincible.
Pretty close to it.
Yeah.
Like, even if, I think, let's see, what ignores damage? I mean, Meteor might be a problem. Probably not a problem. That might be a little strong of a word, because it looks like he's even up at level 38, 37.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's not going to be any problems at all.
See how it's being mentioned in the chat. Hefe was being very braggadocious that he was going to get a sub 40 minutes. And unfortunately, he is on track for that. Fortunately for him, I suppose. Unfortunately for the general concept of not bragging before something happens.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't think that we have exact commoness protection, but with those Aegis shields blocking a lot of physical, having a high physical evasion added to them, there's a good chance that calmness will be blocked.
Yeah, that combined with the Illuminas as well. I want to say the Illumina has plus 40 physical evade.
Yeah.
So, pretty decent chance that they're just not going to have to worry about calmness protection at all.
Yeah, now RNG is RNG, so there's always that chance. But I would feel pretty confident at this point.
And in addition to that, you might not need, if the best columnist protection is having 2 characters that can kill Kefka is one of my favorite, bad advice kind of things that gets thrown around, but that's definitely the case in this flag set.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Turdsman, you know that game we play where you try to guess the time of your final Kefka?
Oh yeah, good luck on this one.
Yeah, no kidding. We're so used to, between 8 and 10 minutes that trying to guess like a 5-minute Kefka is going to feel really weird.
There's a very real chance that they get through tier 1 before the opening of the song is over with.
How good would that feel in a UL seed, right?
Oh yeah, this is fun. Like if you're a frequent player of Worlds Collide, I give this flag set a shot. It feels good.
It feels like revenge. That's what it feels like.
Yes. It's like, what are you gonna do to stop me?
Exactly. So, are we gonna see a Yeti check and a Tritalk check from Jax?
Yeah, it appears that's where he's headed. That's not a bad idea. I don't recall seeing a character in the Yeti cave when they went up to fight the Welk check. So we'll see if this works out. A lot of the slots are filled with characters and Espers since no free checks is on.
Exactly. Oh, there's a spicy chicken.
Oh, uh-oh.
Get that in your chats.
It's a good emote. Those Pearl procs doing a lot of work here. Poltergeist has pretty high defense, and Illumina doesn't pierce defense, so that can be kind of a bummer, but Locke getting an extra 5k out of his swing is doing plenty of work here.
Exactly.
As Jax Rock takes... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say we just need a few more of those.
Yeah, there's still a couple digits left to chew through, but it looks like he did it. As Jax Rock got through the Yeti, who had climbed up, decided to hang out on a cliff instead of in a cave.
Yeah, we got Tritalk at Tritalk.
Okay, so X Zone in there, as well as Cure 3. Those are a couple spells that Hefe won't have access to, but might not be too needed at this point. The EXP eggs on everybody has made sure that his main party is above level 40, and I don't think... So scaling right now for Hefe, since he's got 5 and 6, is 22. So the final boss is going to be half as strong as him when he goes through it.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing. I
This
love
is
this.
so fun.
Okay.
And that's the last Esper for Jexproc, so he won't be too far behind, thankfully.
Exactly, and we already know that except for Spicy Chicken, there's really... So far there hasn't been any hard bosses up here. We're getting ready to see a third.
Yeah, we're seeing that third one. There's still the main guy, the one everybody knows that is the worst palette swap in all of video game history.
Yeah.
But let's see if the Edgar Celeste team has to deal with it. They are a little bit less than the other two, but nope, tentacles.
That's tentacles. And yeah, these tentacles aren't going to last very long. With the scaling that we have and the weapons that we have, nobody's going to care about tentacles.
Yeah, Seize is a bummer, but very minor time loss. Yeah.
Alright, so Hefe is about to be on his last switch. We've had a 4-minute and a 4:45 prediction for the final Kefka fight. What do you think, Turdsman?
He's got a lot of levels. I might go with 4:30. I hate to do the Price is Right trick, but this is going to be a fast one.
Well, you know what? If you're going to go 4:30, I'm going to go 4:29.
This is why you want to be the last guy making the bids.
Exactly. And then we got a 420. Okay, 3211 for switch time, numbers says.
That's amazing.
Okay, so we should talk about this because this is going to go very fast.
Oh, that's true, yes.
So, as soon as... Yeah, so, well, that... as soon as Hefe finishes, we are going to get a new runner in his place. We are going to get Saris Rose starting a new seed.
Yeah.
Then whenever Jex finishes, JS Numbers will be jumping in to start that second part of the relay for Team Bahamut.
Yes, and blink and you miss it. That's going to happen quite quickly. So normally the final boss, I want to say, is somewhere between like 70 and 90, depending on which part you're fighting. In this particular case, they are all level 22, and that comes with the requisite low HP totals. That shout, unfortunately, did not fire off on the hand, but you can try again, so that's fine.
Yeah. Okay, so we have 3 parts of Tier 1. We have Face. We have Long Arm, that's the big arm closest to you. We have Short Arm, that's the one in the back. Long Arm is susceptible to instant death, which is why we're seeing Shoat come out for the break. Face is susceptible to fire and will death counter with Quake, which actually could be maybe a little dangerous, but not really. And Short Arm just hits hard and it's already over.
You did it, though. You got through them.
I did!
Tier 2 has 4 parts. The wonderful little face you're seeing coming into screen there is Tiger. That thing has some nasty things that it can do a few turns in. We'll see if he gets a chance to. That pile of machinery in the center there is Tools. That is also susceptible to instant death. Unfortunately, Shoat won't work on that, though, because he does resist break. And the target that Hefe is going after right now, which I wholeheartedly agree with, is Magic. He casts spells. He is susceptible to mute, but I don't believe they found it in this seed. And that is probably your biggest source of time loss at this point, because those spell animations can take a minute, as you can see with these multiple Pearl procs we're getting here. And then the purple guy in the front is hit, and he does exactly what it says on the tin. He hits you, sometimes 10 times.
But again, I know we keep bringing up the scaling. I don't think it's going to hurt very bad.
No, that's true. Because levels in general are one of the most important numbers that happen in all the fantastic little math that goes on behind the scenes in these games. Huge multipliers are attached to your levels, so both of our runners being this much stronger than the enemies that they're running into doesn't just mean that they're going to be doing a bunch more damage or have less HP to eat through, but it also means that they're not going to take quite as much damage. Ooh, there you go.
Oh, I wish Hit would hit me only for 20 points of damage.
That is, yeah, no kidding.
Oh, that is so fun to see. Alright, now we are on Tier 3. Tier 3 has 2 parts. It's got a girl in the back, and it's got Sleep in the front. I'm not even going to try to predict girl's HP, because it is not the normal amount that I would normally say, but you essentially want to kill her first, just because she absorbs all elements and can life to the other part. Whenever we talked about calmness, this is where it comes into play. Sleep, whenever he death counters, it will be with 1 to 2 calmness, which is a physical instant death kill to one of your characters. It can be blocked. If they had Fenrir or Gollum, that would be what we'd call calmness protection, along with life 3 or vanish. Again, though, if you have 2 characters that can kill Kefka, nobody's going to care at this point.
And it's a very strange instant death move, too. Having the safety bit or the memento ring, unfortunately, doesn't protect against it. I know it's been explained a bunch of times. There's a community member, the Schwantz, is really good at boiling all this stuff down, and I'm not even going to finish this sentence because there was calmness right there. So you can block it with evasion. Golem works as well. But Edgar went down. I don't think that's really going to matter too terribly much. It might slow Hefe down a little bit, but honestly, with 3 characters, even using the fight command, that third one's probably going to get their turn back by the time the first one is going to get their turn back by the time the third one is done.
Yes. I'm going to make this comment right now. I think with the speed that these runners are going, I think it's harder for us commentators than these runners.
We have to talk really fast. So, okay, Kefka coming in for the high five now. Here, we call this tier 4. He does nothing for the first little bit until he charges up his Fallen One move. We'll see if he manages to get that off. Nope, he did not. So he's got a couple attacks. This is the main one. This is him charging up his Goner, which is a big magic attack on everybody, and he does not counterattack during this particular phase. So this is usually when you want to pile in a bunch of your damage. But I have a funny feeling that even Hyperdrive isn't going to be doing too much damage. And there is the crack pow for Team Odin Hefe, finishing at, I think, 3758?
Yes, looks good. And now we're gonna have Saris Rose coming in, getting our wonderful man drinks glue on the backside, getting her all ready to go.
And I believe Ceres has a Shadow, Terrence Drago start.
Ooh, okay, that one's very interesting. I would want to be getting on that floating continent as fast as possible. So, do you, for something like this where items are pretty handy, for example, we just saw Ceres pulled 20 grand out of that chest, that is going to serve her very well. Do you go to the sealed cave in this particular instance?
I probably would just do the chest at the Imperial camp before the cave.
Yeah, I actually think I'd agree with that.
Yeah, just get those boxes and then dip out, because it is, unfortunately, not considered. Oh boy, there's that thing we were talking about again. And yeah, get that second pack. You know, there's Genji gloves somewhere. That's the right decision.
Oh man, that is some good forethought right there. Way to go, Saris. I'm loving it.
Absolutely. It doesn't give you any raw defense, but it's still a very good item to hold in your offhand. Finding elixirs as well. Narsh is where it's at for this second seed.
And according to Blizzard, the Genji gloves are in the relic shop.
Oh, okay. Let's hear it for Narsh.
Yeah.
Their tourism board is working overtime.
Yeah, that Narsh mayor, I know we had an election at some point for him earlier in the year. We need to elect him again.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Okay, so you know how Hefe seed went really fast? This one is going to be even faster, I think.
Oh, definitely. And in addition to that, Ceres is finding fantastic armor in some of these shops. Cheap red jackets, behemoth suits are pretty nice to have as well. There's some offerings. Why not? Meanwhile, Jaxbrock is up to Tier 2 of the final fight. Did get through Tier 1 exceptionally quickly. Has a lot more offense that doesn't have the extra proc attached to it. You saw Celeste there swing 2 Atma weapons for almost 10 grand. Might be able to make up a little bit of time here. Just as I said that, there's a flare proc. So yeah, Ceres finding another couple of really fantastic endgame items in World of Balance Nikia. Let's see if it seems like Team Odin has that general plan of, hey, check these weird shops because your opponent might not think to do it.
Ooh, I wonder what we're gonna find in this one.
Nothing a whole lot too exciting in the relic shop, but
I always forget that relic shop exists.
Yeah, it's way in the back. I'm not going back there.
Yeah, no kidding. Why take that extra walk? I already got my steps in.
That's right, yeah. And there's red caps. That is a full set of equipment for all of Ceres's characters already at this point. They are geared up for the end of the game.
Yep, pretty much. Blizzard pointing out that he's guessing that Ceres is looking for eggs at the relic shop because I think that's the only thing that she could possibly need.
That is true. I actually kind of forgot about them a little bit. I never really think about finding them in shops, but yeah, that makes perfect sense.
I mean, you might as well. Might as well complete the full grocery list.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Jax Rock heading up to tier 3, doing a ton of damage. And there goes the Columnus. Taking out Locke. Ooh, got 2. Also taking out Celeste. That is a bummer. That is probably going to cost Jax about 45 seconds to a minute on this last fight.
And Cerise is going to be doing Burning House.
Oh, this is interesting. I wouldn't have even thought to do this.
Yeah, I like this play. Get those grind fights in, get those levels. Why not?
And Burning House in particular is a lot easier to manipulate than the fights you get on the Floating Continent too. So that is pretty smart. Ghost is unfortunately not a great fight to run into, but
Ooh, Jays are pointing out that there's a VK in the barrel.
yeah, that was always. It's a nice thing to have in your back pocket for situations like running into Goddess, for example. Oh, this is a much better fight. This is going to be worth a lot more experience than the Ghosts. Oh yes, all of the rages are unlocked from the start as well. So Srest showing that off by having Stray go do the Retainer, which gives you a free shock. I think 2 out of 3 times.
Man, that is beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful.
And then Jex taking care of Final Kefka as well at... Oh shoot, I missed the time, but it was just before 44 minutes.
Yes, and now we are getting numbers in. Correct? Yes.
Yes, yeah, Numbers JS is going to be running second for Team Bahamut.
I'm just going to put in there that Jex's official race time was 44 minutes and 1 second.
Ooh. That 1 second's probably going to sting. I always want it to be like at least 10 seconds ahead. So, all right. JS finding cat hoods. Very nice find in this. Went to Kolingen. Another interesting shop that might not get a whole lot of attention. Even if you do have Setzer, it's just going to be an item in that cafe, so you might not really want to spend the time.
Well, but cat hoods are nice. One of the best helms in the game, and plus that double the money for each fight.
Yes.
Extremely useful in this flag set. JS checking out the Miranda shop, finding red jackets. Those were available somewhere else, so not an advantage over Ceres, but good that he found them, because those are very useful pieces of body armor. And Ultros 1 hanging out in the burning shop, or burning house. All right, we got Jex in the booth for an interview while we watch the second heat. How are you doing, Jex? How did that feel?
Oh, just, classic dumpster fire. You know how it goes.
I think that is your usual team name, so I understand. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's on brand. So how did you feel about this flag set? It's very funny that you can call it a dumpster fire when you got a 4401.
Well, the reason why I call this one a dumpster fire was because of that goddess fight. I was already deep in, and I'm just like, oh no, what am I gonna do?
Goddess scared a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't get killed by goddess, but the whole serpent's trench was the dumpster fire of the seed. It slowed me down.
I did the trench. I know I got stoned on the trench. Was it the trench or was it burning house? I don't know, one of them.
Leet River.
Oh yeah, Leet. Yeah, so my start wasn't great either, but yeah, it was I saw goddess, but I had Minerva's, so I wasn't worried once I realized I had Minerva's.
No, for me it was a love token.
Yeah, my Yeti killed himself. He offed
Because
himself.
the only way I got past it was by killing the Yeti.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting
And-
is you both went into that fight with a Yeti that you were going to kill off and one petrified person.
Yeah, it went very similarly for both of you. But I think sorry, we also have Hefe here in the booth with us. Hello, Hefe.
Hello.
Something that I was really interested in is you both went with physically oriented parties, which is pretty common for this particular flag set, but you both went with completely different types of weapons. Hefe, you had Illuminas on everybody, and Jexbrock, you had a few characters with Atma weapons in there. I guess maybe you could speak to the differences between those two approaches, what you were thinking about. Start with Hefe.
I was thinking that I found Illuminas, and I didn't want to spend any more time looking for anything else, so that's what I went with. I mean, like, I would prefer, you know, in this flag set in particular, VK offering Genji Glove, and, you know, just deal with the damage because you're normally over-leveled enough to where it doesn't really matter. So for me, you know, I found Illuminas. I did spend a little time looking for Genji Gloves, couldn't find them. You know, wasn't going to waste a lot of time on it, but if it presented itself, I was going to take it. But it didn't, so, you know, just went after it.
I found a Genji somewhere,
I did
but
not.
I found 2 Ragnaroks, and I bought Atma weapons. That was what I found. That was my offense. I went with it.
Did you find eggs?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Atmas aren't a bad play whenever you have experience eggs. Whenever you don't, it takes, like, I've beaten some of these seeds at level 28. So, I mean, the Atma's not even doing, you know, full damage at that point. So I generally, even if I see Atmas, I'm not the most interested in them.
Yeah,
Not
the
always,
Genji,
but...
yeah, the eggs definitely made it more tolerable.
Definitely.
Okay, so my question for both of you is, you know, we're doing this submission for the Gamers Against Cancer, and which I want to say again, being a cancer survivor, I really appreciate you guys putting your time into this. What made you really want to do it? Jax, you go first this time.
I didn't even know about it until Hefe said, "Hey, you want to do relay race?" I'm like, "For what are we doing?" "Oh, Gamers Against Cancer." "Sure, I'm down." That's usually how I end up doing a lot of these marathon runs, because it's I like doing them. It entertain crowds for a good cause.
All right, Hefe, what about you?
Right whenever this was announced, I had an appointment with a dermatologist. My wife told me that I had a couple of things that, quote unquote, didn't look right. And of course, she's not a doctor, so, you know, I was like, well, I'll go get them looked at, no big deal. So I went to the doctor and found out that I actually had a couple forms of skin cancer. They have since been cut off and everything's supposed to be good. I have to go back in February to be rechecked, but I mean, cancer has affected me directly, not to the extent that a lot of other people have it. But I mean, I feel for everybody who ever has to hear that word in their lifetime, for themselves, for their family, for their loved ones, their friends, everybody. I also lost my stepdad to cancer 15 years ago, and you know, it's something that, as a generation, as a whole, as human beings, we need to take care of this. We need to figure out how to get this knocked out. So it's a very near and dear cause to my heart, personally, and you know, for my family and friends and everyone else.
Well, I'm glad that your prognosis seems to be doing well, and I wish you all the luck with it. Because yeah, I know what it's like to get that word given to you, and it's very, very hard.
Right, it's a tag that never goes away, you know, so to speak. But we need it to
Exactly.
go away.
For sure. Again, thank you guys both for your time and for putting on an entertaining race. And is there anything else you guys want to add? Turdsman, Sigil.
No, that was fantastic. Thank you very much for sharing as well.
I just want to tell you guys GG's and thanks for the amazing first part of the race.
No problem. Thank you all for having us, and thanks for
GG's.
hosting.
Of
See you later.
course.
All right, heading back to the current run, Ceres had forced their way into Magitech Research Facility. You can do that with the YX Zone thing as well. Making their way through these checks as Numbers is going through Burning House right now. It looks like I think they picked up the Zen Thief as well. So that
I think they both picked up Zen Thief.
Okay. All right, Strago looks like since they're a Rage Strago, pop the Valiant Knife on them and using I think the Gold Bear, Gold Bear Rage. To spend some time looking through the list. The bummer for that is that there's 255 of them in there, so it can be kind of tough to find the stray cat when you want it. But Gold Bear does pretty well in a pinch.
Oh, the Ragnarok coming through with the slot. That's what you really want to see. Those green cherries are so valuable.
I'd rather that than Crusader coming through.
Oh, that's true.
Well, that's a good point. I always forget about that.
All right, we'll see what sort of boss. Uh-oh.
Hi, Magic Master.
You know what? This could be a lot worse, actually. Got the Pearl proc off of Shadow. That's fantastic. But Strago's probably going to make pretty short work of this.
Oh, and Ceres is using Stray Cat instead of Gold Bear.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Numbers, I guess, got angry enough at a gentleman in Nikia and decided to nope him out of existence.
I do that with every shopkeeper. If they have what I don't like, they're gone.
There's a lot of casualties in your seeds, so don't
Yes,
not want to remove it there.
So excellent, Ceres making short work of Magimaster there. Going to be heading into the final boss fight of the Magitech Research Facility. Check chain gets an Alexander out of it. Still no fourth character. Numbers heading into World of Balance Narsh and going to find the absolute treasure trove of purchasable goodies available here in the cold city of Narsh. When a ghost train came and went while I was glancing at the right-hand side of the screen for 2 seconds. So a point from the chat, the VK does not benefit from Stray Cat. That is true. It does not. The damage bonus you get from HP, I believe, but I think the regular offense from it still gets the benefit of that ×3. I might be wrong on that, actually, now that I'm saying it out loud. Okay, Drinks Glue in the chat. It's small, but it's not super noticeable. So you get a little bit out of it, but not as much as anything else. So, all right. So both Ceres and Numbers in Narsh there. Numbers took out Leader. Pretty quick work.
And so did Ceres.
Boom.
And Numbers just erased that guy from existence in front of the house.
That's probably a roughly similar amount of time spent, honestly. So, all right, looks like Ceres heading up to take the Kefka at Narsh check. Looking for a character, decides against doing that one. I'm not necessarily against that, but
Same here.
Yeah,
Plus
okay, they saved at the bottom. Excellent. All right, I have to press the push to talk button if I want to talk. Numbers heading into the floating continent check. This is probably what I would have taken first. I did really like the burning house check, though. That was pretty cool. I would have completely ignored that one in favor of some other quote unquote, better grind fight checks.
And in MOBAs, we have a go-go.
Hey, there's a character. There's a character
Yeah.
she was looking for.
It's nice of Go-Go take care of those kids this time.
I mean, at least they're, they've got Go-Go looking after them and not like a demon from another planet or a giant bird encased in ice or something weird. Or a big sword.
Yes.
I mean, are you sure though? Are you really sure?
I guess Go-Go could be a big sword in a trench coat. Okay, dealing with Strago. Not a terrible one to have here. Not necessarily going to get you a bunch of damage, and unfortunately got healed at the end of the last fight, so not getting that bonus from the Valiant Knife, but definitely tough enough to take this.
All right, so I'll kind of ask the same question I asked in the first race. Who are you guys looking for the last character? Who do you want to see?
I want to see a Sabin.
Yeah, that's not a bad one. Being able to check the Phantom Train is really handy in a situation like this where you need to find one or the other. But
yeah,
and then Barren Falls not too bad either.
And the Imperial Camp isn't bad.
That's true. I would be okay with Setzer in this one, just because Daryl's Tomb is a pretty quick one.
And also Search the Skies.
Search the Skies, yes. I wouldn't turn my nose up at a Cyan. That at the very least you can check the Doma Siege. Yes, thank you. All right, so rest gets their party back together.
But Goku's like the last character I want to see at MOBAs, just because you'll only have Mimic.
That's true. That makes the second half of that boss fight a little bit tougher. JS heading through the second boss fight, Guardian. Not a fun fight to find, but they took care of that right quick.
And Cerise is going to peek the Velt Cave.
Oh yeah, Shadow.
Yes. What do you think's going to be here?
I'd be hoping for the character here. I'd want to get that one. You want to hit your character maximum probably before your Esper maximum, because I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in the last heat. It's a little easier to find an Esper in an emergency than the other way around.
Well, I'll be the heel and say I hope it's an Esper. Just take that.
Boo!
No, the real problem would be if someone said it was an item.
Oh yeah, like one of the I think 2 dead checks that are still available.
Yeah.
Yeah, warped out of it. That's interesting. I think that's still the way to go. You don't need that extra Esper. You're not going to need that extra boss fight for experience.
Hold on a second. I didn't see. Did Saris pet the dog after doing MOBAs?
Uh-oh.
Because
I
she
don't
just
believe
worked
so.
out to not pet a dog. That could be disqualifying.
All right. Yeah, cut her feed. This is we're gonna have to start all over.
We of course are joking.
Yes.
But in Sarah's defense, I wouldn't have pet the dog either.
This is
And
so fat. Like, I did that for all of my practice seeds. I went left to make the poor little guy not exist, and I have to go. There is a time crunch.
I would be the person that accidentally hits Y in this situation at the dog.
Oh, Sigil, I think you're about to get muted.
So Ceres did end up going to Ebbett's Rock, which is a weird check. You have to find 22 pieces of coral.
I believe it's 22.
22, thank you. And thankfully, once you do, they've changed it now so that once you have enough, you won't end up in the separate rooms that have more coral in them. So make it go a little bit faster.
Can you remove the chest?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think right there, it's because it stops you before you actually get a chance to go all the way up to it.
Gotcha. Shows you how much I play with Y remove.
I tried that once.
It would be nice because I don't like that chest. I think he's mean.
Mean and annoying.
Especially if you go with less than 22, he takes it all.
Yep, he takes it from you and he kicks you out anyway. So running into Toilet Atma, the very affectionate nickname for the version of Atma weapon that hangs out in a toilet.
And
Taking care of that quite quick.
Numbers just got Golem.
Oh, very nice. So they won't run into the same problem that Jexfarok ran into, where they might end up accidentally losing their best damage dealer.
And that's Siren on Ceres' side.
That is another interesting piece of the puzzle for the final boss, too. That way, Magic, during the last fight, can't do anything sneaky in the back there. We'll be able to focus on some more high-priority targets.
So now we've got a little bit of a quandary. With all this offense that we have on both sides, not being able to find that final character is really hurting.
Yeah, Ceres is hunting through Zozo now.
I think the character has to be here.
That's possible. There's
If there's no character on.
I should be taking a look at their individual streams as well, so I can see their.
I think the character has to be at Zozo now, unless it's Go-Go. No, can't be.
No, Zone Eater is not considered a free check for the consideration of that flag, so there might be a character in Zone Eater.
Yeah, and Leet River too. I don't think Ceres has done Leet River.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, I was like 50-50 if Go-Go counted as a free check or not.
I appreciate that one because those bridge attendants are mean.
Yes.
Ooh, very nice. Ceres just removing that boss there. Normally that's not necessarily what you want to do, but in this particular case, you don't need that experience. So that is Final Kefka unlocked for Ceres.
Oh, and the commentator heal was hoping for Leet.
Yeah.
That would have been a huge bummer at this point. Oh man.
I'm a terrible person.
I was hoping for Go-Go.
Again. Just a second one.
It's Go-Go check.
Oh, in the Go-Go check. Okay.
It just have the people just stay right in the middle.
Yeah, that one can be a real bummer if that one guy in the middle doesn't want to cooperate.
And that is unlocked for Ceres.
Yep, looks like they're headed straight to the final dungeon. Yeah, these levels are fine. I think she found Mega Elixirs early on. Bought a pack of Elixirs. Yep, this is A-okay. You're ready to go.
And I think at this point, Sigil, I'm going to officially hand over my spot on comms to you.
Thank you.
Herdsman, it has been a pleasure. I hope we do this again. And like I said, I've been really honored to be a part of this event. And I really appreciate, Gamers Against Cancer and everything that they do. And this has been a blast. And I thank you so much for letting me do it.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here.
Now, I'm going to go jump in our Twitch chat and have fun there.
All right. We'll see you in the chat.
The poor Ultros.
He ran away. At least he didn't explode this time. So that is boss number 1 down for Ceres. That's Team Odin making really good time here. That lead that Hefe managed to grab them in the beginning is doing wonders.
And did Numbers pet the dog?
I didn't notice.
Yeah.
We'll have to go back and check the footage.
Yes.
They are, however, going into Zone Eater. So we do know that Setzer is hanging out at the top of Zozo. We get to see who is in here, though. This is also not a bad call. I think there might be maybe didn't think about the fact that at Zozo you can get through that boss, so it kind of works similarly. You're not going to get blindsided by something you can't fight, but Ceres fighting the Flame Eater. At least it doesn't get healed by Holy.
I always wondered, can you why remove those guys?
No, I don't think so. Oh, okay. Use the menu trick. I don't know if he was going to be coming back, but if you hit the menu button right as you're being interacted with by one of those little guys that move around, they will continue to move around during the transition, I believe, from main screen to menu and back. So that can be a good way of getting a second chance at not getting knocked off by them. I suppose somebody can correct me if I got the details of that wrong.
Oh, it's locking at the go-go.
Hey, all right. 2 correct answers.
Yes.
So that is final Kefka unlock for Numbers. They are going to head into the final fight here pretty soon as well. Let's see if they decide to empty their wallet before they go in there, though. I'm not sure if it's needed, but high 20s is a little bit scarier than some other setups, but everybody's rocking double Illumina, so
And like you said, the last leg, the levels are going to be low on Final Kefka.
yes. Oh, and here's a second Ultros. This one, I think, is the one that's going to have a bummer show up behind him.
Yes,
and not,
you're correct.
Yeah.
It's the one I never like to see.
Yeah, not worth any experience points, and you're guaranteed to not be able to kill it in one hit.
Yeah.
And there he is. All right, Numbers is deciding to head into the item shop here in, I think this is Albrook? Yeah, that's Albrook. Didn't find anything there. Let's see if he decides to go somewhere else or just jump into that tower. Oh, heading to the World of Balance. Seems to have a very specific plan in mind. Oh, okay. Hey, look at that. Yeah, well, sure, why not? buy 30 megalixirs. I love how X potions were way more expensive.
Yeah. I would be popping those mega elixirs like candy at this point.
Mm-hmm. Primary form of healing.
Yes.
So, Ceres, I think this is the second statue fight. The Three Stooges. This one's kind of a bummer, just the multiple targets.
Yeah.
Doesn't play too well with Strago's offering attacks, but...
Yeah. You just have to hope you kill the top one first.
Yeah.
Because it feels bad when he life twos his partners.
Exactly. It's so much worse than the life 3 thing that I think...
Magic does sometimes with Kefka.
Yeah, just full HP. The other two guys don't have as much HP as the one on top does, but it can still be, at the very least, a sizable psychological damage to have one of them come back. Lots of shock procs, though. That was doing huge work. Right, numbers running up, making some specific decisions about who is going to go where and when. Stopped in front of that statue.
This is the final switch. How long do you think Cerise is going to take for the final Kefka fight?
I think I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say 6 minutes and 10 seconds. They don't, she doesn't quite have the levels that Hefe had in the last one, but a lot more defense though, so maybe a little bit less consideration to really blocking anything. Just go, 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 go might make that go a little quicker.
Yes.
How about you?
450.
Ooh, okay. This is the flag set for really fast fights, so yeah, you might be right.
Right.
I don't know if instant death showed up, but in a situation like this, do you even bother trying to use instant death, considering there's a chance it might not work, and realistically, you're probably going to beat everything in 2 hits anyway?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't, just because, like you said, it might not work. Then you're just wasting time.
Yeah, for example, I think one physical attack with a proc took care of short arm there.
Yeah.
So it looks like she's taking out the long arm now too. Just going to go ahead and eat that quake counter.
Yes. Yep.
Honestly, it'll probably be fine.
Yeah.
We'll see if it even breaks 1,000 damage.
I'd be shocked if it does.
Oh, interesting. The ability scaling is still turned on, so that quake got turned into a quarter. So I apologize, I should explain that. The ability scaling flag changes the attacks that monsters have around based on what level they are, but it will keep the same elemental property. So quarter, it misses automatically if you're floating. It's kind of considered an earth elemental move, even though it does just do a fractional damage. Or at the very least, it's on the same list. All right, Hope Song coming out. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say that.
I think in this case that is good. That way you can focus on the other parts, because the only real problem with magic in this situation is that all of the spells that it casts are going to take a while.
Yeah. Would it just cast the lower tier spells since it's a lower level?
Oh yeah, probably. So at the very you're not going to be running into even Fire 3 or Bolt 3. Which if they sneak through your defenses can be a problem. And numbers coming up on the third statue fight here. The disappointing Ultros.
No. It's Flame Eater.
Oh, right.
I think the Disappointed Ultros was the first fight in the middle lane.
Ah, okay. This is all going very quickly.
Yeah. I missed that one also.
So, and Ceres also employing Haste 2. That is a pretty good spell. It's not, not something that you use a lot of the time, but having more turns is fantastic. Unfortunately, this spell is going to take that off of Strago, but... Man, I love how she's not even healing this 400, because you know what, this next tier, like... I don't know if the runners were watching their previous the previous heats before them, but if so, then Ceres saw 10 hit do 20 damage to a character that didn't have a helmet, so probably not too terribly worried about what damage they're going to be taking. Oh, there's a Mega Elixir. I guess Whirlwind can be.
Yeah.
So 3,000 HP on Lady in the back, already gone. Oh, interesting. Taking the Luminas off and popping a Valiant Knife on again for Strago. And Numbers getting in that final fight as well.
I think Numbers is going to be like around 515.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think it's very interesting. They both ended up with full Illuminas on everybody, but Team Bahamut Numbers went down a couple different paths, so they have a few different options for Espers, but I think in general this is just going to be swapping around, whether or not you want to swap around a weapon like Ceres did, or just blaze on through it. So yeah, soon we're going to be seeing our third set of runners here, as Ceres is already in the Goner phase. I believe will be replaced with Sid.
I believe you're correct, and for Team B, Numbers is going to be replaced with Lunar.
And there it was. The crack pow occurred.
GG, Ceres.
Excellent job. Zipped right on through that. I'd love to know what the official time was.
Realm, Celeste, and Gogo start. Were you able to catch their abilities or no?
No, unfortunately. Yeah, GG's to Ceres, maintaining the lead. So, Numbers up to tier 2. Taking essentially the same sort of strategy, swinging away with these Illuminas. I did notice that a bit more damage was coming out on Ceres's side. I wonder. I do know there was a Strength +2 Esper floating around somewhere. Perhaps Ceres got a little bit more use out of that.
Yes. Oh yeah, Turdsman. I believe Ceres did that seed in like a little over 36 minutes.
Excellent job. Hey, there we go. We got a Ragnarok seed this time.
It's like 36 or like 38, I think. Thank you, Dwyer.
Okay, 42.55. Oh. I could probably check the actual channel for that sort of stuff.
We have fixed dice in the shop.
That can be kind of interesting. It might be a good thing to keep in your back pocket just in case you run into something weird.
Like a Magimaster.
Yeah. Or like Tritalk, for example. I guess the flare procs would kind of work with that, but not quite as well as you'd want them to.
No. That'd be the time like it doesn't proc.
Yeah, right, exactly. 5 in a row, nothing. So I did neglect to mention in the beginning, all the characters have warp automatically learned on them. So that you saw that being used in the past 45 GP for a cat hood. Whew. You saw that being used in some of the other heats there, but that's another way to keep things running smoothly in the beginning. You don't need to go hunting for those warp stones to make a couple checks a little bit juicier. All right. I'm thinking maybe Team Odin had a bit of a discussion before they started.
I was thinking the same thing.
It's working out for them.
Yeah.
That was that got Hefe those Illuminas early on.
Yeah.
Seeing if they deciding on the gauntlet, ended up not going for it. I would certainly prefer a Genji glove over a gauntlet in this particular case. 43 gold pieces for Behemoth Zeus.
45 for cat hoods.
Excellent. All right, and Numbers is making their way to the final fight. Still a little bit behind Team Odin, but Fiery Blizzard definitely has a chance to catch up. We'll see if they can manage to find a couple of tools that Sid does not.
Right.
Fifth.
I believe you mean Lunar.
Oh, excuse me. Yes, I apologize. I don't know what I was thinking of. I did notice one of those shops had 3 gold piece wall rings in it. Not that you would necessarily want to buy them, but that's just fun. Was that the Goner phase firing and it turning into level 4 flare?
I'm not too sure. I was paying attention to Sid's side.
All right.
And GG's Numbers.
Very good job, Numbers. We got Lunar Chimera coming in as the final runner in the Team Bahamut.
Like, watching this flag set makes me wish I was playing it.
I know, it's so much fun. Like, especially after an Ultros League season that was a bit rough for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It feel pretty good to just sort of remind yourself, like, okay, no, I'm pretty good at this. I know what I'm doing. Ooh, snow mufflers for Lunar there.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say the snow mufflers were more on the expensive side compared to everything else.
Yeah, when you're finding stuff for 40 GP, it can be kind of it's like, end game armor that's nearly perfect for 1,000. Ugh.
I never thought I'll say that.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know if I want that $1,000 snow muffler. Is it worth it, really?
And Sid's doing the Opera House check.
Yeah, we've seen the strength of random encounters in this flag set, so I like this idea.
Yes. And goodbye, door.
Yep.
It needed remodeling anyway.
That door probably wasn't up to code.
No.
Okay, they have Gogo with lore in this one. So you do also start off with all of the lores unlocked, and they are all between 1 and 40 MP. I believe just a random number somewhere in there. So you could wind up with a nice, inexpensive Quasar or Dark Matter.
GG's Numbers.
All right, yeah, we got Numbers in the booth with us. GG's. Looks like they're muted for a moment. We'll go ahead and talk with them once.
Sorry, I had my
Hey,
mic
there they are.
muted.
Oh.
I'm so smart at times.
I mean, that's what you're supposed to be doing. So.
So
yeah,
how much
nicely.
time did I game? Like two minutes, maybe?
Oh, I think it was a little bit. Ceres was running through pretty quick too. But you did
I
gain
just
a bit of
gotta look
time.
at the numbers that were in the race room. I think I may have grabbed us up to 1 or 2 minutes.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna jump in here real quick. I've done the math, and it looks like you gained a little over a minute.
Yeah. I'll take it.
A mathematician flying in.
Alright, what's going on here? Oh, I hit play so I'm like trying to mute my stuff and I'm trying to get through ads so I can actually watch the stream. So
Well, in the meantime, while those ads are playing, how about you tell us how you felt about this particular flag set? Did you anything weird about your approach to it that you want to talk about?
So I'm always gonna look for the off the beaten track type of thing for this flag set, and me going to Burning House was one of them. I mean, I knew I had Bahamut and slots right away, so anything I ran into, I was gonna be fine. And there was Osmo, so all of it was gonna be taken care of. And I don't think I even ran into a hard boss at all. I don't even remember everything that I ran into. These flags are so fast.
I can safely say that from our position, we felt the same way.
Yeah. It's like we blinked and it was over.
I love this flag set. So I originally created the basis for this flag set about 4 years ago, and the reason being is because I always got up early in the morning and played before I went to work. But I didn't want to get up any earlier than like an hour before I went to work, so that's what I did. And there's been some tweaks and adjustments, but I'm pretty used to these flags for the most part, and I love them because they're fast. Whenever you want to try to do something you want to play, but you really don't have a whole lot of time to play, this is great. And watching Hefe play, I knew he was gonna blaze through the seed. Reason being is because he loves a jet seed. He has his own preset made called Jet Seed, and we used to play that a lot. I don't know if he really does it anymore, but whenever it comes down to puzzle piecing this type of stuff and going fast, he's good at it.
So, all right, yeah. Any there was, I think, not as much divergence between you and Ceres in this one. You both found those Illuminas. Is there a particular thing that you're looking for in these flag sets to smooth things over, or are you just taking whichever form of offense shows up first and running with it?
I really want non. Here's my thought process. If I find it Illuminas, yeah, I'm gonna buy them. But I also really want one type of non-elemental or not defense ignoring non-elemental damage, and that is mainly for if you run into Magic Master. It's just nice having that, because if all you have is Illuminas and you don't have any spells like Flare or anything like that, flip Berserk, and you run into Magic Master, you're kind of in trouble. And in this flag set, that is that's a time sink. So
All right. So, Sigil, anything else that you wanted to ask JS before we let him go?
No, I'm good. I just wanted to thank him for doing the second leg of this.
oh yeah, definitely. It's always a blast. And like I said, Turdsman, if you need a break for the rest of this, I'm glad to stick in here and hang out. So
I'm surprisingly energetic about all this at this point, honestly. But yeah,
It's
thank
all,
you.
it's
Sorry,
all
go
the adrenaline from you watching the
Right,
run.
yeah.
these flags are definitely intense. But actually, if you don't mind, I'd love to stick in the room and listen to hear what Sarah has to say about all this.
Yeah, sure. I don't see why not. So yeah, we'll get Saris in here for an interview as well. I'd like to take a quick opportunity again to mimic what's been said already about the organization that we're submitting this to. It's the Gamers for Hope. They are a group of streamers that put on these excellent charity events. Gamers for Cancer is a fantastic one. It's a really rotten disease, of course. Really glad to be a part of anything that could be helpful with it. And we have Ceres in the booth as well. GG's.
GG's.
Thank you. It's an honor to be beaten by numbers by only a little bit.
So how did you like the beginning of that?
So I was going to do the Hefe special and go straight to Nakia and Mobliz, but I decided to go to Narsh first to make sure I had enough stuff to sell, and boy am I glad I did.
No kidding.
That was absolutely stacked. And then I don't remember where I found the VK, but that kind of rounded things out. I did discover that Cat Scratch does not work with VK, and I forgot to take Offering off for the final fight, but I mean, when you have Haste 2 and 3 people already using Genji Glove Illumina, you don't really need a fourth.
That does make sense. So is there, I think, and I guess this is something that numbers you can speak to as well, but is there a particular point with these flags that you know you're going to make it to the end of the game? Like, do you see a group of tools that finally make you think like, okay, I'm set?
Yes, with this flag set, it's 4 things to hit with and some kind of things to wear, so you're not totally naked. I would have liked something like Minerva's or something, but you know, red jackets were just fine. Once I had everybody kitted up with those, you know, the Genji gloves, Illuminas, that's all great, but you could probably make do with a lot less, especially if you have to do a lot of hunting for it.
Yeah, I think you were essentially equipped for the end game by like minute 3.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Hey, just so you know, I was 7 minutes in. No, I was even further than that before I even found the Illuminas.
Oh, did you fade Narsh in the beginning?
Nope. Yeah, I faded it. I went counterclockwise right to Kalingen and went clockwise like that. And that's kind of what I usually do with these seeds. And it burned me on this one.
Now, did you do MTech?
No?
No,
I
you
don't remember.
didn't. You didn't.
No, I don't think
Numbers.
so.
You did Floating Continent instead.
Yes.
Was there a character up there?
No.
Get wrecked, loser. I was so terrified when I didn't find a character at the end of MTech. I'm like, oh god, Leet is still on the table. I did do Burning House.
So did I. The only reason why I went Floating Continent is because I knew I could eat the last boss. I was like, I'm not going to do the last boss. I can just eat out of here. Get some money if I need it, you know, things like that. Get some levels. And that's the main reason why I did that, so.
Yeah, I just knew I had to get a little weird with it if I was going to try to beat you.
You almost had it. You were close. You were so close.
It was the go-go check you did, Numbers.
Oh, yeah, and that had lock.
Mm-hmm.
I was so happy to find Go-Go because I knew it was going to be it. The chances were much higher for it to be linear and be at Zone Eater. I was just like, let's go. And that's like the first thing I did.
Yeah, the last time that I did Zone Eater, I spent 8 minutes trying to cross that bridge, so I was not going to do that unless I absolutely had to. But I did find someone at the top of Zozo, thankfully.
And I considered doing that, and then I passed on it. I was like, no, I'm out.
So yeah, is there anything else that you want to ask them, Sigil, before we let them go?
No, just want to tell them GG's again. And glad that they could be a part of this.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't think of a better thing to be a part of than this. And once again, Numbers, it was an honor to lose to you.
GG's, thanks for racing, as always.
You'll
You
get
guys
him
on
next
comms.
time.
Oh,
Ceres.
absolutely, absolutely.
Hey, you guys on comms, thanks for all the work that you do, because I know what it's like to try to keep up with some of these races, and you're just like back and forth the entire time. But so GG's to you guys.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you very
all so
much.
Thank you.
much. I'll hop out now. Good luck with the comms.
Good luck, everybody.
Thanks, numbers.
Thank you.
Thanks, Drea. We're out.
Back on the runner side, Esper Cave was a Magicite, Opera House was a Magicite, and I believe the first 2 checks of Magitech was a Magicite.
Yeah, looks like they have not found a 4th character yet, but we'll see what we got at the very end here. Following a pretty similar check path, and it's another Magicite. Oh boy. I think the only difference is I don't believe Lunar went to the Opera House, if I'm correct.
Correct. And I don't think Sid went to Esper Cave.
Okay. We got a Sky Squid up here.
Yes.
Getting beat up by Dice and leaving.
He's in the wrong part of the sky.
Right, yeah. So, the other airship one.
Yes.
So in terms of offense on this one, we did find Ragnarok's, I think, in shops early on. There's a bit of fixed dice floating around. Somebody with Blitz, I'm going to assume Celeste. We saw Go-Go using Bum Rush there.
Yes.
There's more Ragnaroks.
Yeah, of course, Realm has lore, I believe.
Okay, yeah, we were able to see a couple Grand Trains come out. This is a little bit more... pushing a fast start, I think. There's plenty of abilities in the cast right now that will allow them to take care of some of these fights early on, as Sid finds experience eggs in the shop at Albrook. Still no 4th character yet, but this does mean that when Sid does find a 4th character, they'll be a very high level.
What do you think the 4th character is going to be?
I think at this point I'd probably be hoping for one maybe a little bit more narrow. Lock would be a bummer because it could be in Phoenix Cave. I think I might want to see Setzer. How about yourself?
I want to see Astrago so he could be with his granddaughter.
Oh, they don't get to spend a lot of time together.
Yeah.
She's always in her phone.
Yeah.
Skibbity toilet and whatnot. Man, I've never even thought about that. Realm would be an insufferable 12-year-old at this, stage of history. Looks like her check at Esper Mountain is not a character either. Sid is taking it, even though this is going to be Esper number 6. So let's see. They've taken Opera House, has not done Jador or Zone Eater.
Yes.
So out of those 2 checks, which one would you be taking in this setup?
I probably would do Jador.
Oh yeah, is that because you want to avoid Zone Eater, or is there?
Exactly. I do not
that's
like
fair.
On the bridges.
Absolutely fair.
I have a special song for them.
Is it appropriate for?
What's that?
Okay.
It's like the one time I wish Realm could sketch an NPC to knock them off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, speaking of throwing those fixed dice, getting some pretty good rolls out of it, taking care of Air Force right quick here. Decent amount of healing on the Espers on Lunar side. I saw Life 3 and Cure 3 on that one. That might be handy to have. We haven't seen a whole lot of high damage stuff, even in the final boss, other than the fractional damage attacks. So Lunar heading over to possibly might not be aware of the YX zone flag. Going to talk to that guy to do that normally. Thankfully, it's not as much more time as it would be if it was Y remove, though.
Yes. And Sid's looking to be eaten by Zone Eater.
I think I might have taken this one over Jador just because I
You're in the proximity.
it's closer, but also I wouldn't really be too worried about it not having any experience at the end of it. And I am nothing if not hubristic, and would assume that this guy's just going to play nice with me. And then that would happen.
Yes.
So hey, this could be a break for Team Bahamut, however. If Lunar can get through this Opera House fight pretty quick and head into some other checks, well, oh, never mind. Sid managed to get through it.
Yes.
Still possible, however. It's not a quite one-for-one comparison of where both of these runners are in their individual seeds, since this is the relay there. And Lunar started, a bit after Sid did, but has Lunar gone through the Magitech facility? I don't believe so.
No.
Oh,
Lunar
no, they
did.
Yes,
They-
you're right.
Yeah,
They
they
both
fought Doom at the end of the escape on the railroad.
Ooh, found Shadow.
Uh,
Eh. Yeah. He's got the one great check that's not so great if no free checks is turned on, unfortunately.
yeah.
The Velt Cave isn't too terrible. At the very least, you get a heads up.
Now I would be dreading Floating Continent.
Yes, exactly. That's where you definitely don't want to go at this point. Because I think Sid's already got, looks like 5 Espers there, according to the tracker. We'll see what they decide to do. Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't check the Velt Cave.
Yeah, me too. Maybe just wanted to play the odds, since there is, I want to say, no, there isn't. Is there a guaranteed character on this one, or is it just guaranteed progression?
It's guaranteed progression,
Okay.
but there's a chance at 2 characters.
Mm-hmm. Which would be not exactly what Sid wants, but they can always dip out before the 3rd piece. So we'll see. Meanwhile, Lunar heading into the World of Ruin. Gonna take the Jador check right away. So yeah, we'll get to see what's behind this particular door too. Something that's very interesting. Lunar started after Sid did, but is equal in levels. So Lunar has been getting a few more fights in, getting a few more experience points, which you don't need a lot to finish the game, but it can be kind of nice. Oh, there they are again!
Hi, Illuminus!
So yeah, those Illuminas plus those extra, yep, everybody's getting one. Plus those extra levels might be able to give Lunar some extra time here. Lunar got the eggs earlier. Okay, thank you, Chad. I appreciate it. Those are very handy. They're,
Yes.
The levels are one of the best stats in the game. So finding that experience egg early on.
Especially for the fight command.
Yeah. I got to see some spells. Realm cast Bolt 3 on that random encounter. Good way to get rid of it. Finally got to see the spell animation. Ooh, Rexol. So Sid's not relying on Illuminas at this point, so this might... Oh, it is. Does have that offering on.
Yeah.
We'll see if they manage to take out Rexol in that one volley. Thankfully, it won't target the little guys after they've already died the one time. If you've already expended their HP totals, I mean. All right, it looked like that is probably going to be it for Rexol after the Soul Savers do their thing. see if this gambit pays off. Sid will know after the second boss whether or not they're going to get character at the opening of it.
No, of course, he still had the vet cave. It could just be magicite here.
That's true. All right, Vargas, not too bad. His little bears are going to go down real easy. And deciding to pummel him. That's smart.
Right.
That functionality is still in the game, but it does mean that you don't get experience from that fight. But as we figured out in this flag set, that's not a big deal.
And now my weapon went down on Sid's side.
Ooh, and it is an Esper.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to go all the way to the end of the floating continent if they want to get a character off of this. And meanwhile, Lunar Chimera, I believe, got a Magicite as well from the Jador check.
I agree with you, Cerise.
Yeah, keeping scaling down is not a bad idea. So yeah, just why removing that middle one out of existence? That's a pretty good strategy, I think, for this. We did see that, as mentioned in the chat, Cerise hanging out in there. They reset it out of a bunch of checks, and I think that was also very smart. Keeping that final boss down as low as you possibly can is a really good way to save some time in the end.
Turdsman, I forgot our runners didn't check cliffs at Nosh. The Kefka at Nosh.
Oh, you're right.
Right.
Oh man, yeah, that could be hanging out there, but it looks like Lunar's heading up there now.
Yes. That's the one check I always forget about.
Ooh, yeah, Sid's probably wishing that got rid of this one. Magimaster is not what you want to find, but
it's going to be a piece of cake with the fixed dice.
Wow, yeah. Yeah, couldn't even finish talking about how bad that guy normally is.
Yeah, no. Not with the way Realm's rolling tonight. We should take her to a casino.
I think they have rules against that. Just have her and Gao on top of each other's shoulders.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. No, we can do this.
Yes.
I bet Gao knows how to count cards.
I would like to see a Gao.
Yeah, have not seen a Gao. Haven't seen a lot of characters in this one. We've been keeping bundled up with Shadow. Lots of Umaro showed up, but there's a few people that we have not been able to see this particular run. So running through a couple of these random encounters here, deciding to take the experience. And Lunar gets an Illumina. Oh no, it was a dead check.
Yeah.
There's, I want to say, 2 or 3 of those floating around in the non-free check, so that is an unfortunate find for Lunar. So, all right, leader is at the end of the floating continent. Not too much to say there.
And we'll find out if it's a character.
And it is Cyan. So I believe that is going to put Sid at Kefka Unlock.
Yes.
So yeah, then we get to see it again. Is Sid going to empty their wallet, or are they just going to run right into the tower? Just going to run right into the tower. Well, after saving and such.
Yes.
Ooh, Lunar heading into Zone Eater as well, but with the full 3-character party. Did not shave down to 1, which it's just to make, since you're not going to fight anything in there, it's just to make this engulf piece go a little bit faster.
Nice. But it wasn't too bad with only 1 demi.
Yeah, that went pretty well. Considering that's a huge meme in the community, is how many of those you're going to have to sit through before you finally get eaten up.
And also, Luna increased their battle speed for it.
Oh, that's smart. That's a good forward-thinking thing. I don't think... Man, I don't know if I've ever done that.
I haven't.
Yeah, very good forward thinking there. Move from Lunar. Sid is already on their statue bosses, however, running into Dullahan. Not a whole lot can stop Realm and her dice, though.
And the bridge is not cooperating for Luna.
Mm-mm. Yep, here's what you were talking about.
Yes.
You've been vindicated at someone's expense. They decided to go grab that X potion. Honestly, yeah, you might as well. Oh, this is... Yay, there we go.
Yeah.
I saw him moving left, and I was... So, all right, Sid's heading up the center with just a solo Celeste. That's probably fine, too. So this crane fight might be a little bit of a pain. Okay, nope, using that offering on it. Would have been obnoxious to have to target one and then the other just to take a little bit more time, but oh, looks like that last roll did not do so hot.
Jeffrey, I would just hand Cyan my phone to ask him to use it.
I'm a Cyan fan personally. I don't. I understand why people say the things they say about him, but the man loves his family. What can I say about that?
But I wouldn't put him anywhere near electronics.
Well, no, he definitely types with his index fingers only.
Yes. And we're finally gonna find out what the Velt Cave check is.
Oh, good. Yeah, this hopefully is going to be a character for Lunar.
That's just a feel bad moment. Nina do floating continent.
I mean, it'd be nice to not have to do floating continent.
Yes.
Okay, Terra, very nice.
Yes.
Sid coming up against the statue on the right. Guardian! Not gonna, strictly speaking, not going to be giving Sid any trouble, but it does take a little bit longer to chew through all of this HP.
I feel like the Guardian just wanted to chill there today, not bother with anyone.
Unfortunately.
And we have an Inferno on Lunar's side.
Yeah, another big pile of HP to have to chew through. But grand trains and dice, a whole lot of stuff that eats through defense, taking care of that Guardian right quick.
Turdsman, I just need to tell you how much I'm enjoying seeing Bum Rush this leg.
I
of
know,
the race.
right? You never get to see Bum Rush.
Oh,
For good reason, but
yes. But sometimes I just miss seeing it.
yeah, seen it all the time.
Yes.
All right, Tools Terra getting swapped in for Shadow. That's interesting. I guess Shadow didn't have much going on. And Lunar officially winning everything. Not just limited to Worlds Collide, not just limited to video game randomizers. They got an Oscar, they got an Emmy, Nobel Prize, Poet Laureate, Lunar Pet the Dog.
That's... On that note, how long do you think Sid's going to take for Kefka?
Sid's screaming through this, so I'm thinking it's going to be just over 5 minutes. I'm going to go with 5 minutes and 5 seconds.
I'm going to go with like 5:45 because of the fixed dice.
Yeah, that fixed dice could cause some problems. We got Lunar coming in the back. Both players opting to keep Celeste solo.
Blizzard, you're correct. I don't know the input of it, but I have it written down on my computer screen, just in case.
I do so there's a weird quirk with Blitz that folks might not know. The game doesn't actually care about diagonals. A diagonal up left on the Blitz input can be either up or left, so I tend to go, all ups and downs for all of their various blitzes. Yeah, diagonals are for games that don't use a tile-based walking system.
I wish I knew that when I was a kid. I hurt my thumb all the time.
Yeah, trying to do it regular.
Yes.
See, I think the most damage we've seen done at once by almost anything in this game, a Lodestone attack on Shadow doing 2,000 damage.
Yes. And Sid's on his way to tier 2.
So this'll be interesting. Not as many tools for neutralizing all these things as our last runners did. So Sid is going to have to rely pretty heavily on offering attacks going after the right thing. Ooh, launcher coming out early. That's a bummer. Oh, and hitting everybody. That's also a bummer. Okay, so Sid is not going to have to worry about... I think may have taken out everybody but Tigerface in one turn. Oh yeah, throw that Super Ball. That's fun.
Why can't my people ever roll like that? I don't think I saw Realm roll a bad roll this seed.
Mm-mm.
And then you have Celeste at the other end of the spectrum.
Oh yeah, she didn't do very well there, did she? Meanwhile, Celeste on Lunar side doing very well, taking care of those cranes really quick. Running into a random battle, unfortunately, though. That is the problem with having a solo character in the final dungeon, is you have to use one of their relic slots up for that. Or, just suck it up and run away or warp from a fight.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to run into two.
Yeah.
Sid makes it up to tier 3. Let's see if his luck holds with these dice rolls. Sorry. Okay, we got Got tier 3 getting taken care of here. Rasp coming out. Hadn't quite gotten down to the...
And Quasar.
Yeah, hey. Uh-oh.
Oh. Yeah. I'm thinking Quasar was Medio.
Oh, could be, yeah. And block that calmness and heading on into the
Tier 4.
Tier 4. Let's see what sort of stuff Kefka desperately tries to hit them with.
I'm just curious if Realm's going to roll great.
All right. Lunar taking care of the Guardian. You see some more bum rush. It's a good move. It's really quick. The reason you don't see it that often, unfortunately, is you have to have a Blitz user up to level 42, I want to
Yes.
say.
42.
And then you go watch a bit of a bummer of a cutscene that takes a little while to get it.
Thank you for the Rhaegar.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Gar.
Would Luna take it down the Guardian tank? I feel bad for Cat.
All right.
GG said.
Clack, clack. We roll dice here. That was amazing. GG's to Sid. Showing off that the fixed dice are the greatest weapon in the game. And that puts Team Odin as the winner of this relay race. GG's to everyone who ran, but
Yes.
just really incredible work. Hefe getting out in front and all the rest of his teammates holding on to that lead.
Yes. And just following suit. I believe their finish time as a team was 2 hours, 3 minutes, and 50 seconds.
Yep, looks about right. And we have Sid in the room here. GG's Sid, very nice job.
GG said,
GG's.
I have something to ask you.
Yeah.
Did you rig Realm's dice?
Yeah, that was a little bit of styling on him at the end.
Because I felt like Realm only had like one bad roll the whole seed for you.
She rolled some triple digits, but for the most part, things were probably already dead when she did. How do you use those dice?
Yeah, so is that something that you look for when you're... I mean, I guess just in general, but also with these particular seeds, is making sure that you have at least one source of really good defense-ignoring damage in the back pocket, or are you just a big fan of those dice?
Well, I am a big fan of those dice. Yeah, I was looking for something. And when I saw the dice, I think I'd already picked up offerings, like, for just in case, and they were, like, the next shop over. It's like, well, that worked out. Just buy 2 of those. I'm done with the seed.
All right. So how are you how did you feel about this flag set in general?
It's a fast one. It's fun. I like one where it's not necessarily turn the brain off because you still have to like think, hey, where's the character going to be? Hey, where's the Magicite going to be? But I do like that it's a more relaxed, lower stakes style of flag set.
Sid, I want to ask you, what made you not peek the Velt Cave before Floating Continent?
So I thought about it, and I knew there was Magicite at Zen. I'm like, hey, I could peek it. But I really do in Shadows checks, and Shadow's my favorite character, so I thought, hey, I'll close off with the Floating Continent, and hopefully I'll get my character there. If not, that was going to be my next location, was the Velt Cave.
Yeah. Terra was at Velt Cave.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I probably could have shaved off a few minutes there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you did. Did you have your Esper count when you went into the Floating Continent, or were you still at 5 at that point?
I was 1 shy. So I got 2
Okay.
Magicite and 1 character at Floating Continent.
Yeah, all right.
Oh man, if I'd done Belt Cave, that probably would have been a sub 2 hour for the full 3. Dang. Oh well.
It could have been. But I mean, it was, I did like your strategy there. Was that kind of what you were hoping? Is just grab an Esper and a character, and then whatever for the third one?
Yeah, I pretty much figured it would be either a character at the beginning and then a Magicite, and I can hop out, or Magicite, probably another Magicite, and then a character at the end. Because with no free lunch on, those usually aren't dead, and the end of Floating Continent usually skews a little more towards character. Doesn't have to be.
All right. So, Sigil, anything else that you want to ask Sid?
Just want to thank him for running this.
Yeah, absolutely. We couldn't be doing this without the runners, of course.
No.
So yeah, Sid, anything you want to say?
Y'all see that Super Bowl on Kefka?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
You captured my heart with it.
I was saving it. When I picked it up, I was like, I know where this is going.
Going right into that guy's face.
Yep.
Sid, does this run have any special meaning for you?
Not as much as some of the other runners, but I do think, fighting against cancer at any cost is a noble cause, and any sort of fundraiser towards that is something I'm proud to be a part of.
Yeah, we're happy to have you here. I'm always happy to be able to be a part of the charity work. It's great to be able to do some good with the silly little games that we play.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
with coworkers, with some of my coworkers that had cancer and survived it, I'm happy I could be a part of this.
Yeah, it's near and dear to the heart, even though I've been fortunate enough to not experience some of the tragedy that others have.
Yeah, me as well. But I think that's it's a good cause, right? It's almost self-evident that you'd want to help out with this. So we really appreciate you being here.
Absolutely.
And Lunar's now up to the final fight of the game.
Ooh. hot on
Did
the
lose
table.
a shadow to damage, not calmness. It was a rage cast that happened while another attack was queued up.
How dare they?
But 3 is plenty to take care of Final Kefka here.
Yes, I bet Kefka will be happy once this is over.
Yeah, just taking a beating.
He's really taking a beating tonight. I think the little version has not shown up in any of these scenes.
No, the little version, I believe, showed up once.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yes.
We got one extra beat down in, besides the guaranteed ones. So we do have some bum rushes going on, grand trains. This is a substantially different power set as the last 2 runs. Not a whole lot of swinging going on other than the fixed dice. It's still working. Like, Lunar's making really great time, and I believe just made the end of time. GG's to Team Bahamut and Lunar Chimera. Let's see if I can't get that official number.
I believe the official number for their team was 2 hours, 10 minutes, and 43 seconds.
So very close. I think Hefe getting that lead early on, it slowly bled away a little bit, but really neat. Just kind of shows that like a lot of the runners that we had tonight are in we're all smart.
Yes.
we all got this game in our heads here.
And I'd like to welcome into the booth Lunar Chimera.
All right. I'm going to jump in just real quick.
Oh yes.
If I did my math right, which it took me a minute on the first one because I wrote down numbers wrong. Sid's time was 43 minutes, 36 seconds, and Lunar's time was 45 minutes, 36 seconds. So almost an exact 2-minute difference.
That's pretty close.
It's very
Yeah.
close.
I'm just mad that the last check with the character had to be my least favorite one.
You could have gone to Floating Continent.
I don't even think I could. I think I found... Wasn't Shadow the one that was there?
No, we started
Oh no.
with Shadow.
Shadow
Go,
was
go.
Yeah, Shadow was in the Zone Eater.
Right,
Don't
and
even-
then I found Terra. Everything else was dead. Shadow was there, and then whoever was at.
Yeah, honestly, I
ended up
forget who
finding
was.
Terra in Fell Cave.
So yeah, let's. I guess we'll start with just your general feelings on the flag set. How did you like this particular run?
Yeah, I like these ones because they're real quick. I'm kind of sad I didn't find some items on my run, but starting with what that was like the best start you could get: lore with everything and blitz with everything, and then go
Yeah.
to the mimic. It's free.
Can I say one thing, Luna? You made me so happy constantly using Bum Rush.
I should have gone back and bought the earrings instead of leaving it with the offerings. I was hoping to find a better weapon, and I was hoping to find Genji gloves and never found those either.
Yeah, this was the one that didn't have a ton of physical offense in it. Was that, I guess, something that you were hoping for? I know in a lot of my practice seats there were swords all over the place. Was there a particular backup plan that you were looking for?
Was I hoping for it? Yes. When I saw the teams that we got, I wasn't disappointed.
Oh
like
yeah.
I said, it would have been nice to get a few more stats somewhere, but never found anything great. But like, since they're all magic defense piercing attacks, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, having access to lore means you have a bunch of tools available.
Luna, I exited this, but did this run have any special meaning for you?
I mean, I've had a lot of things with cancer in my family throughout time, and with my friends too. So, being able to participate does mean a lot to me, actually. And I've been in this community for a while as well, so it's nice getting pulled into this one.
I'm glad you could join us with this.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I'd like to take a moment to thank all of our runners for coming in and putting on a show for everybody tonight. Sid and Lunar Chimera, thank you very much. Ceres Rose, JS Numbers, crud. I almost had it.
Hefe and Jex.
Yes, thank you, Hefe and Jex. Oh my! I was just talking about Hefe a second ago. What's wrong with me?
That was races ago.
Yeah, don't worry, I went blank on them also.
But
I got your guys' backs.
Appreciate it. You're here with the math and remembering things. That's so yeah. Big thanks to them for joining us tonight for this submission for Gamers for Hope's Cancer Benefit, Gamers Against Cancer. Thank you to Dwaya for coming for the first half and saving my butt just about a minute ago. And thank you to Sigil for coming for me for the second half.
Thank you.
Big thanks to Drinks.
Thank you for coming the whole time.
Oh, absolutely. This is a lot of fun. I always love doing these things, especially when it's related to a good cause. And big thanks to Drinks Glue as well for flipping some switches in the back.
Turdsman, do you know what's going on tomorrow?
I do. Something very exciting is going on tomorrow. In fact, we are celebrating 5 years of Worlds Collide. That's right. We've been doing this for 5 years, and we're going to be having a fun little community get together tomorrow called the Golden Golems. It is going to be fun little awards for people. We're going to be talking about the different things that have been going on in the community and what is coming up. So if you can join us for that, please do. I think anything else that we want to cover?
I just want to thank the runners again for putting on an amazing show. And everyone that helped put this together. What about you, Turdsman?
No, I just want to echo that sentiment. Thank you to everybody for putting this together, and I guess ultimate thank you for the Gamers for Hope group for running all of these charities. So yeah, I think unless the director has anything to say about it, we'll probably be signing off here in a bit.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you. Thanks again to everybody for running. Thank you, Sigil. Thank you, Drinks Glue. Thank you, Dwyer. And we hope you all have a good night.
Right, and a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yes.